Gamers, you hate packet loss more than a checkers at Christmas. So, what do you do when you are experiencing that because of your home routing solutions? Well, you turn to ASUS, of course. Good afternoon and welcome to Turbo Tortoise Tech. If you're new here, I'm Reese of the 4-piece variety of Walkie Triple XL. And in front of me is pretty much the best bang for buck AC2900 Wi-Fi router. That's right, you heard an AC class of 2900 with a very, very good split between the N and the AC spec Wi-Fi for 1,400 Rand. These last year at the end of December were going for $1,000. Once you see the amount of management you have for both entry-level users and for advanced users, and the fact that it can be worked through with a phone app as well, ASUS networking is literally one of their absolute feathers in the cap. So let's start off with the router at hand. This RT-AC86U has MU-MIO for your beamforming so that you get better wireless to your devices, hence the three large aerials that you see over here. These are incredibly beefy, really nicely spec'd for this unit. You've got four LAN ports on the back on the bottom right, which are all gigabit Ethernet. You've obviously got an LED on and off button over there in the middle, which is kind of cool that you have that option on the router. Then you've got the internet port itself. Then you've got two USB ports, one USB 3 and one USB 2.0 for older devices. That can be used as a printer function. You can even just put a flash drive in there and do offline downloading to it. It's got a myriad of functions built into it, which I'll show you in the router a little bit later. Then you've got your DC input for your very, very nice adapter, which does come with a UK plug as well as a normal 2-prong. So if you were to be bouncing between offices, you could literally take your router with you and then you'd have all your network set up and stuff already done when you got there. So okay, probably not viable, right? It's probably not something you would do, but the option is there, which is kind of nice. Power button as well in the back. Then on the left hand side you have a Wi-Fi on and off button, which is I think really nice to have for troubleshooting, especially if you are trying to find something that's eating on your network. Then you can just turn the Wi-Fi off and see if it's a problem on the network itself, or if there's someone that's doing a little bit of naughty downloading over there. And then a WPS button for that quick WPS connection. So very simple, straightforward, and somewhat unassuming physically. I got to say, I really do like the way it looks up front. This unit unfortunately does have a little bit of a grip tape issue over there on the top right of that. These are aluminium little like insets over here into it, and it's very sleek. I do like the way it looks. About the only problem I have with the physical setup of this router is there's no real way to wall mount this guy. There's nothing here on the bottom. It's just rubber, normal rubberizing. So you are limited to this being on the desk. That's about the only physical limitation that I can see from the router itself. But let's now go and look at the internal systems of the router, where this thing really begins to shine. Alrighty, so it's time for the meat and potatoes of the situation, the internals, and how this router is just gonna make your life like way more shiny. Okay, currently you might notice by this that it is set up attached to my other router. All of the tests and stuff I did direct just to be sure. But even with this setup, even in this configuration, there's basically no additional packet, well, obviously no packet loss, and no additional ping, really 1 millisecond difference on my testing. So very, very good. An incredibly good Wi-Fi signal and distance. You can probably look at about 20 meters for the 2.4, maybe even further. And about on the 5 gigahertz, it does shatter when it hits walls quite a lot, but line of sight is absolutely incredible. Still within my normal sort of 60-70 square meter house, from one end to the other, with this being on the opposite end of my living space, there's absolutely no dead spots. So there's more than enough carry for, you know, a 2 or say 3 bedroom house. If this is located centrally, you're going to get Wi-Fi in all of your rooms of your house, which is nice to know, I'm sure. But let's just look at the way that this functions so I can show you how it's really been set up for both entry level and new users to like really advanced guys, where it's some stuff that I didn't even know what's cracking. So We have the network map page, which is pretty cool. You can click on here and you can see the exact system status. You can see which networks and stuff you have live. You can quickly change them if you need to. You can change the network keys and stuff if you need to. Length always beats complexity, kids, just so you know. Then you get to your client list on this front page, which is also really nice. You can see exactly what each device is. It's DHCP. You can change the actual device name in here as well, so you can address it if you need to, if it's not named, like my Walkie PC tells you if it's Windows or if it's Droid or if it's Mac. It'll be able to give you all of that information at a glance, and even the connection speed. So you can see, even though I got a fancy motherboard, it's still slower than my phone. My phone can actually go faster. And if I hold this up, let me just get it in the direction of the router. Maybe it'll even increase there and it'll show us full bars. But anyway, you can see the phone goes really, really fast. The S9 is why I use this for Wi-Fi testing, is because it can do up to a 4 gigabits in Wi-Fi testing, which is absolutely sick. But both my PC and my phone are currently connected on the Wi-Fi. And I didn't actually plug my aerials in to my my Wi-Fi on my motherboard and ran a speed test, and it still was like half my line speed, just to show you how powerful the Wi-Fi is from this router. So yeah, they've done a good job here with the Wi-Fi. It's strong. It's very, very strong. Then you get your AiMesh. So this can be part of a mesh networking system, so that other ASUS AiMesh stuff can all just work together in adding these nodes and stuff like that. It's kind of sick like this. So you can, if you've got a dead spot in your home, you can buy another router that's AiMesh compatible or an extender, and then just add it in here on the nodes, which is absolutely sick. I'm sure you'll agree. Guest network is a big thing for this, and it's very, very powerful. You can have up to 6. So you can have 3 on the 2.4 and then 3 on the 5 gigahertz. And then in these, you can even change, like, if they can access intranet, the access time, how much bandwidth they'll be able to use, upload and download as well. So incredibly good and really quick and easy controls for you guys to understand if you aren't an advanced user. You can set this up for 2.4 and then for 5 gigahertz, and then they can actually be completely separate from each other. So you could have a 2.4 with different rules from the 5 gigahertz for older 2.4 devices, or devices that you want to connect only to that to limit their speed, etc. You can do all of that just built in to this thing. Like, you could do this off your phone as well. All of these functions are accessible off of your phone as well, just so you know. There's an app with all of this built into it. Then you've got your AiProtection Suite. So this is for like malicious site blocking, as you can see. It does a security assessment for you, even intrusion protection system. You know, it's quite comprehensive, from a Trend Micro as well. So if you are worried about that, if you're doing banking and stuff like that at home, or you want to use this as a light office automation sort of suite to just add a little bit of protection between you and the would-be criminals, then this will give you some protection, which is sort of nice to have. Parental controls are really sick as well on this. You can web app and filter a whole bunch of stuff out. So you could just disallow access to sites or to different APs and stuff. So you can go by client, and then you can obviously see the various things that you can block in here. I'm sure the adult functions are going to be, you know, really appealing to a lot of parents and stuff. They want that sort of control. Once again, you can do all of this on your phone, which is absolutely sick. That you then would have that capacity, and you can see how quickly it applies the setting. I'm just doing this live so you get an idea of how quick and easy this thing is to use. So you also have time scheduling, so you can decide when the devices do and don't have access as well. So easy control. If you don't want your kid online more than 2-3 hours a day, then you can set it in here. You can set the active time, and it'll do that for you automatically. So it's like having Nanny Net without any extra effort, just built into the router. Sick to have. Adaptive cost is really, really good. It does work quite well. I generally by default leave it in the default setting, but you can over here go and customize and set up exactly what you want to have prioritized. Generally, gaming and video streaming will be at the top. Work from home, learn from home, web surfing, file transfer, and then other stuff will be at the bottom. Generally, this is the setup. So you generally don't have to change it, especially on the gaming routers. But if you want to prioritize something else or some sort of other traffic, you can. And then, as I say, you click save, you click apply, and it's a few seconds away. This router works very, very quickly thanks to it having a proper ARM dual-core processor that can hit 1.8 gigahertz. So your phone that makes its own access point, this has all of those functions around it, and then your phone inside of it busy braining to do all of this for you is effectively what it's doing. Traffic analyzer is also really nice. You can see exactly who's used what, and an active traffic monitor as well, so that if wireless connections and stuff are going tilt, you can see them. So what I'm going to do is, using my phone, is just run a speed test with the app here quickly so that you guys can see it running actively through there. So let's get that connected. 6 ping on there, and now my phone is pulling 250 or 300 megabits. See it go north of 400 over here, because I know it can. It goes north of 400 now to 440, 450. But here it is as it's coming through in real time, and you can see the spark from me doing the speed test. So you can monitor everything you need to from here. So if guys that, like we say, are doing some office automation and stuff, then you'll be able to see it over here coming through live in megabytes per second. And if I can just hold that up to the camera, if you quite can, well, yeah, there you can see I got 450 and 413. So it's working absolutely perfectly. Now moving on to the game function. This is where it prioritizes your traffic based on your game. And then you have OpenNet and What the Fast. So you can set up the gamer's private network to give one device priority so that that device gets the lowest ping on the What the Fast network, so that you get, it's like basically a 10% reduction here in South Africa is what you can expect to see. So if you had like 180 ping, it could drop to as low as like 160, 165, which is what I've generally experienced with these sort of services. So they have gotten a lot better than they used to be. And that 10% could be the effective, between winning and losing. And it just makes the gameplay experience a lot smoother, way more consistent, a lot less rubber banding, etc. And then you can add by device over here from the drop down list. So if I wanted to do this on my phone, on the Galaxy S9, like I said, I've named those before, I can then change them. And then you can also see the offline client list. So these are people that have connected to the router and have had DHCP leases. Then you'll be able to add and change that from there. And all just one click stuff. OpenNet as well. This is for, stuff for port forwarding and that sort of stuff. A lot of games don't really need it that much anymore. So maybe a bit superfluous, but it is there. So for all the games and stuff where you might need some port forwarding at a LAN, etc., then you'll be able to do that over here. You've got your USB application. Now this is where this thing becomes like a multiple platform sort of system, because it can do FTP, it can do network and printer sharing, so you can share a printer off of those two USB ports, and both of them can function at the same time. So you can have a printer on the one and then a storage drive, for instance, on the other. You can have failover for 3G and 4G as well, time machine functionality for your Macs, etc. So it's even got that built into it. And then the download master, which is really cool because you can connect an external hard drive to it that can download for you overnight, and you don't have to have a PC running. And then that's a 30-watt power draw. So like us, a lot of us who are getting into our own power provision solutions, it's literally going to save you money by using that functionality, which is pretty sick. And you've got your AiCloud for your cloud disks and stuff. It's basically using the USB function, but with an external IP address that you can constantly access in a way. It works off of URLs, I believe, and it's dynamic. So if you ever have an issue of DDoSing, you're probably just a router restart away from being back online, and then they'd have to go about reacquiring your IP and faffing and stuff. So it could save you a lot of time and headaches, from what I understand. Now, so we get to the advanced stuff, some stuff that I just don't understand, but some stuff that do understand is we can change between the wireless modes over here, the band obviously as well, so you can check for each side of each band. You can change obviously your authentication methods. If you need enterprise stuff, it does do baby enterprise. That's one thing I absolutely love over here with this. Then you've got your WPS settings as well. WDS as a bridge thing, I didn't even know what it was, but it's got it there. So I'm just showing this on screen so you guys can see, for those of you who are big brain. Got a wireless MAC filter as well, so you can filter out obviously devices and stuff that you don't want. I know what a MAC address is. There we go. No idea what this is. a radius thing, cool. It's got it there. Professional stuff, like a huge amount of functionality. I'm just trying to get everything on screen, so if there's stuff that you would want to use, at least you'll know if it's in this GUI or not. LAN, similar thing. You can just change the settings and stuff for it, for your dynamic hosts and your DHCPs, server settings, what addresses and pool limits and stuff you want to put in, external DNS servers and routing for that. This does stuff. This also does a thing, IPTV, so you can IP on your with your TV on your IP, does stuff. And then a switch control. I have no idea what this does, but it's cool. And it's got it. It's got all the functions, as you can see. There's a myriad. I mean, it's so... I could probably spend about 20 minutes or 30 minutes inside of this. If there's a specific setting that you are looking for, I'm sure that the web will in general be able to help you. As I say, I'm just trying to get through all of these just to at least put them on screen, so at least you can see if it's got what you're looking for, whether it's URL filters, keyword filters, or servicing filters for your firewall, etc. Just trying to get absolutely everything on here. Then you can change it between wireless and AP mode, which is also sort of sick, so it'll just repeat the network that it is connected to. I've got it in the router mode currently because I wanted to show that functionality, but you can just repeat. So I could just take my AC or AX, sorry, 5400 tough, and then repeat that signal over here onto this router, which is pretty cool. Obviously, you got a bunch of system functionality, so you can decide which USB. Oh, so it looks like it's individual. You might not be able to use them at the same time just based off of that. Let's check a firmware upgrade. This should be all automated as well. Let's check for an update, because this portion should also be pretty automatic, but it seems to be good on the latest setting. You can restore factory defaults and upload and save the settings. So once you've got everything that you want set up the way you want it, then you can save that setting and then I believe download it to the PC as well. They give you a portion here to do feedback as well, and then privacy, so for the AI protection and stuff. And you got a system log, which is kind of cool. It does log all the actions and stuff that you may have, whether it's on or off, etc., like when it may have gone down, what, etc., etc. Then you'll be able to at least check what's happening over here. Similarly, wireless log, it's got all the band information and like really big brain stuff for people that understand what the hell they're looking at over there. Your DHCP leases, so you can see exactly who's online and what leases are active and when they expire, so when last a machine was logged on and stuff, which is kind of sick. IPv6 is currently disabled. Then you've got your information for your routing table, your port forwarding table, so any port forwarding and stuff you would have over there, and then of course your active connections, so they can see exactly what connections you have and where they're connecting to. So it's both. I mean, it's even got a built-in ping. So if I do Google over here, .co.za, just as an example, and I go diagnose, it'll give me the active ping to that within the router itself. So it's not device specific or dependent, so it skips out all of the devices even, so you can check the network itself and see if there's a problem with the router or where that might lie in your network. It's just really comprehensive over here. Like you can see, these are set up for both the entry level, like normal home user, as well as the advanced user, and that I just find absolutely fantastic. So just gonna flash the benchmarks that I did do, the 2 tests that I did do. My PC has line of sight, it is pretty close, so take that with a pinch of salt. But the phone, I did test corner to corner across my house with about 3 walls in between, and it was still absolutely perfect pretty much. So like high bandwidth streaming, 4K streaming to your TV, if you've got a good TV with a good Wi-Fi card in it, you should be good. And even for gaming, honestly, I would game off of this, even off the Wi-Fi. There's absolutely no reason for me to connect a cable. Although I do have Cat 6 running through my house, there honestly isn't a reason for me to connect a cable anymore. I could actually just be running off my Wi-Fi. So very good job from ASUS. Anywho, that is all I have for you on the internals of the router. Back to the studio. So as you can see, incredible Wi-Fi performance, whether it's on the phone or whether it's on the PC, absolutely no latency increase really versus LAN, maybe a millisecond. That's incredible. When I first grew up on Wi-Fi, it was rubbish. It was 54 megabits was like a peak. Now this N spec has 750 in it, and the AC spec has 21,086 megabits. That's 2 gigabit, dude. Like, it can do gigabit Wi-Fi. It can do genuine gigabit Wi-Fi for 1,400 Rand. I don't know what they're selling over at the ISPs, but I guarantee you it's not going to be as easy to use as this. It's not going to come with a 3-year warranty like this does, and it's not going to have convenient functions like quick on your phone at the tap. You don't have to get a PC or a laptop to modify this. It's not going to have game boost. It's not going to come with free what the fast. It's not going to get any of these add-ons that you do get from buying an ASUS product, and just convenience. I've got the tough AC, I think it's also 2900 or 3600. It's also quite a big boy. It's got a quad-core processor, whereas this has only got a 2-core 1.8 gigahertz processor. Not that I noticed the difference. There was absolutely no difference, because my networking at home, you can imagine, is a little bit sleeker setup than what the ISP would provide to you. So in conclusion, this is a router that will cost you, what, 500 Rand per year, guaranteed cost of ownership. That's less than an entry-level router with a 1-year warranty. So because of this thing's warranty, its guaranteed sort of lifetime and cost of ownership is way better, and then you get all of those features. So in conclusion, should you get it, it's 10 out of 10. There's no product at this price point that can possibly compare, honestly, especially with the ease of use. You've seen how good the graphical user interface is inside of the router. These are absolutely fantastic. Nice included kit. I mean, you even get a proper little piece of Cat 6 over here, or it's Cat 5e, but it's like really good quality, nicely molded cable even. You know, it's defaults. They put in patch cables. Most of them have only got 4 twisted pairs, or 2 twisted pairs actually inside. This is a full 8, so it's a full 4 dual twisted pair. It's just better. Everything is just nicer. The aerials are better, the build quality is better, the ease of use, solid 10 out of 10. Anywho, if you guys have enjoyed this review, you know what time it is. Please do hit us up with a like and subscribe. Likes help the channel out so much. If you have any thoughts or you need any other information I may have missed, I'm not too advanced with networking, but I can do the basics pretty decently. So hit me up in the comments down below. If it's something more advanced, I'll do a Google and we'll see if we can help you out. Until next time, hope you guys stay safe, keep well, and I will see you on the flip side.